Well, folks, another year has come and gone, and with it, a plethora of great movies to talk about. And I'm excited to share my top 10 favorite films for 2022. So, to everyone who has watched my reviews, whether you've watched one or you've watched all of them, thank you. So, with that in mind, to qualify for my list, it must meet two requirements. One, it must have come out during the 2022 calendar year, and I must have watched it during the 2022 calendar year. So, films like Babylon will not qualify, sadly. Anyway, so with that in mind, also I should note I cannot guarantee that I won't mention spoilers for these movies, so you have been warned. Also, I will be linking to the original review that I made down in the description below, so you can check out my original review if you would like some in-depth detail on it. Okay, so rounding out the bottom of the list at slot number 10 is Lightyear. I mean, I'm really bummed that this film bombed hard. This film did not deserve to bomb as hard as it did. The controversy over one of the characters being gay was just completely blown out of proportion. But with all that being said, so Lightyear shows that Pixar should really do more action movies. Some of the coolest action set pieces I saw this year were in Lightyear. Just the scene where Buzz and his compatriots are fleeing, the Zurg robots is one of the most well done action scenes I've seen of the year. Plus, just the overall space battles as well at the end, where Buzz's where the granddaughter of Buzz's fellow space ranger has to go out in a free in space alone and overcome her fear of space. That just great stuff. And also, I mean, just overall, the film has great animation to it. The performances are great. Taika Waititi is great. Chris Evans is really good. James Brolin as older evil Buzz Lightyear was really good. I was not expecting that plot twist. So, yeah, just really good. I mean, again, I will admit that it's not entirely original. It does have some familiar themes to it. Buzz's hatred of the Ivan AI program was a little bit familiar. As I said in my earlier review, a bit reminiscent of the Mandalorian's hatred of droids, but still good. I liked it. So yeah, so that's number 10. Okay, coming in at number 9 is The Menu. Once again, another set of great performances, include by Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, and Ray Fiennes. I mean, just the performances alone get this film onto this list because Ray Fiennes manages to be scarier than Voldemort. That's how scary he is. Just standing in the background, silently judging all the snobby restaurant goers at Hawthorne's is. Ugh. I mean, I got my heart started beating out of my chest every time he walked over to one of the group members. Plus, this film's black comedy is on point. Just seeing all the restaurant staff treat the the restaurant goers in such horrific manner while also trying to, provide a restaurant experience. I mean, at one point in the film where where all the men are told, "Hey, yeah, you can try and run if you like." And at one point, the last guy caught gets a little treat as a reward for being the last person standing. That's just great stuff. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. And also, my favorite part is sort of just how it talks about the critique of art and how it kind of critiques both snobby creators and snobby critics, and it sort of talks about how a bit of a compromise is needed between them. I.e., that creators need to challenge that the consumers need to challenge the creators while also being genuinely appreciative of the art that is created. So yeah, I really love the commentary there. All right, coming in at number 8 is the film simply titled X by Ty West. Anyway, this film earns a spot on my list just due to its compositions alone. Every frame has so much detail in it. It uses split screen really well, especially when One of the characters sings a Fleetwood Mac song that brilliantly sums up the film's themes regarding age and sexuality and sexual prowess. Really great stuff. Also, the characters are just so likable and understandable. Like even the antagonists are in a weird way kind of like understandable as well. I mean, not likable per se. They're just you feel for them sort of. Like the older characters, while they are objectively horrible people, they do have a genuine longness for to I don't know, just sort of feel wanted in life for lack of a better term. Also, the film's farm setting lends itself to some great gory kills that are creative and just really scary and every time a character died I was like, oh, I like that character. Just really good. Plus the ending itself with the film's commentary on religious hatred of sex and how that said religious hatred of sex can lead to people going down the path that ironically enough don't want them to. So just really great there. Yeah, it's just and just overall the writing lends itself to great physical and emotional conflict. Okay, coming in at number 7 is Nope. But Jordan Peele, I mean, he's 3 for 3 with this one. He has managed to do with 3 films what it takes some directors like 10 films to do. He once again, this Nope is another dread-inducing horror experience. The alien itself is great. I mean, just the brilliant idea of making the alien ship literally in and of itself a living creature, just great. Just that right there alone is a brilliant idea. Plus the film's cinematography as well. Like every shot has something interesting to look at in the foreground, midground, and background alone, which is really good. Daniel Kaluuya is really great as a horse trainer who's better with horses than he is with people. And just overall, trying to watch these characters defeat the alien itself with those blow up figures you see at car dealerships, to the cameras, to the little e-bike that does a cool Akira slide at the end. Just really great stuff as there. Plus, the horror set pieces induce dread. Even the fake out set pieces are really good. And I feel like that's really hard to do. Fake out scares are difficult to do well in movies because, I mean, most modern movies are just like, oh, something innocuous. Oh, it was just something innocuous. And you can always tell with this film, like at one point when Daniel Kaluuya's character OJ is in the barn and those creepy figures, silhouette black figures move, I was like, nope, nope, Yeah, that's how good this film was. So yeah, just great horror set pieces, great characters that you want to see succeed in the film. Earn this film a spot on my list. All right, coming in at number 6 is The Batman. Anyway, I mean, just this film is essentially an Arkham video game incarnate. Batman has never been at his most effectively photographed in terms of combat, given action scene. Like he's using everything from bats to the butts of guns to smoke to everything in this. Heck, he even uses venom. Well, it's not confirmed, but it kind of seems like venom to defeat his enemies. It's just great stuff there. Plus, this is probably the scariest Batman has ever been. Like you literally are put into the shoes of the people he fights. Like every time you see a shadow sequence, it's like, oh, Batman's going to come out of it. Just great stuff. And like the scene where Batman is chasing down Penguin for information on the highway, and just when he's coming in and Penguin's looking at it upside down, it's like, even I was scared of Batman. I was like, don't hurt me, Batman. It's just great stuff there. Plus, just overall great mystery noir writing as well. You get to see the detective side of Batman as well and kind of see him become a less angrier Batman than he is at the beginning of the film. Great stuff. And it's honestly, and I would have said it's a better Batman film than The Dark Knight, were it not for kind of using some familiar ingredients. Like, for example, the film kind of uses the Thomas Wayne wasn't that great of a guy trope, which has kind of been used a bit much lately. Like there's Batman The Long Halloween, the DC animated movie, plus or rather movies. It was released as a part one, part two. Plus, there's the Telltale Batman series, which also goes into the hey, yeah, Bruce, your Thomas Wayne was kind of a jerk, kind of. So, I mean, again, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. It just kind of felt a bit too familiar. But otherwise, great film, earns a spot on my list. Okay, coming in at number 5 is The Northman. Just this film blew my mind. Just overall, the cinematography overall, with how it simply moved, just by simply moving from left to right in the screen, in a left to right pan, it just great stuff in terms of how it captures the brutality of every given action sequence. Plus, the performances, they do a great job of transporting you into a world that operates with very different rules from ours. Everything from its morality on revenge to slavery. It does a good job of explaining the world without justifying it, which I thought was really good. And once again, it contains another great performance by Anya Taylor-Joy as a witch. Just really good stuff. She brings a lot of mystery and rebelliousness to the role. And just the one takes themselves. Like this, just one of the film's one takes would be enough to put this film on my list. But this film has several of them, and they are all really well done, amazingly well choreographed. So yeah, again, amazing choreography, amazing performances, and great writing that humanizes every character earns this film the number 5 slot on my list. Okay, coming in at number 4 is Bodies, 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 a satire of rich yuppie Gen Zers. All the characters are all fully realized. You never fully hate them. Like you're watching them thinking, oh my god, I hate this. I mean, let me put it this way: these are some of the most hateable characters I wish to spend more time with, if that makes any level of sense. The film's cinematography, it's great. It manages to capture the darkness really well, especially given the fact that this film uses a lot of natural lighting, whether it be, cameras, the light from cameras, or using headlamps, or just like lighting from one of those little masks that people wear at night for red light therapy. I don't know. But just overall, this film is amazingly well lit. The kills are sudden and very violent and terrifying. Like just seeing the Verin, as in veterinarian, get killed. He himself, Lee Pace, like his death via a dumbbell was just very disturbing and just very sudden. And just I love how the film manages to balance the tone of humor and darkness so well, while also managing to deliver some of the most organic exposition I've ever heard in a movie. Like every time a character delivered dirt on another character, it just felt right in a movie. Just really well done stuff. And the ending where it's revealed that Pete Davidson's character just accidentally killed himself, all because he wanted to prove that he was a bigger man than Lee Pace's character. Just great stuff. As nihilist, just a purely comedically nihilistic ending movie for a comedically nihilistic movie. Just great there. Yeah. Okay, coming in at number 3 is Till. So again, one thing I really loved about this movie was how it managed to show how the political climate of 1955 in some ways is unfortunately not that different from that of the present day. Like there is still an issue with just the pure outright denial of reality in the courtrooms. As I stated, when I reviewed the film when it came out, at the time Alex Jones had just been found liable and required to pay nearly up to $1 billion, if not more, towards the victims' families of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. And just, I found it eerily prescient how both the Till case and the Sandy Hook Elementary case both involved the defendants outright lying about the deaths of children. More specifically, the recorded confirmed deaths of children. So, I mean, that right there, plus, again, obvious. So that right there, just, Yeah. Plus, I mean, the film's use of subtle but powerful cinematography was really good, and the close-ups on the actors, especially the lead actress playing Emmett Till's mother. I mean, again, like the very scene where she's delivering her monologue about how she wanted to try and help her son stay alive alone, just in the courtroom scene where she's giving testimony, really powerful stuff. So with that in mind, Till earns its number three spot on my list. Okay, coming in at number two is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. I'm telling you, we gotta study Rian Johnson's brain when he dies because, I mean, how is it physically possible to cram so much detail into a movie's screenplay? Just, it's amazing. I, like a few days ago, I did a rewatch of the film on Netflix, and there was so much detail I could see from the movie. Like, if you are willing to pay attention in this movie, you can figure out the who the killer is, and the killer is Miles Braun. As you know, it's just really great stuff. Every payoff has like multiple setups leading up to it, and just the fact that Miles Braun is the killer alone. If you're willing to do detective work, you can figure out. Like, first off, it's established that Miles Braun doesn't have a phone. He just uses fax machines, and at one point in the film, after Duke has died of pineapple poisoning, you see a shot where Miles Braun is trying to use Benoit Blanc as a meat shield, and if you look at Miles Braun's back pocket, you will see a phone. That right there alone should set off alarm bells in your head, going, "Wait a minute." So yeah, just yeah, and also combined with that, great performances from everyone, ranging from Jessa Henwick to Kate Hudson to Daniel Craig as our favorite Southern detective ever. So what can I say? This film deserves its number two spot. Okay, before I talk about my number one pick for number one movie of the year, here are a few honorable mentions. First film, Vengeance. So this film earns an honorable mention on my list solely for two things. One, a career best performance by Ashton Kutcher as a philosophical radio music producer, and great commentary on the dehumanizing aspects of true crime entertainment, more specifically true crime documentaries, and how they can obscure rather than illuminate the truth. Just great stuff there. And unlike certain other film, Halloween Ends, the commentary is nuanced and well done. The unbearable weight of massive talent. So this film earns an honorable mention on my list just for Nicolas Cage's performance as Nick Cage alone. Nicolas Cage is asked to do a lot in this movie. He's asked to be Nick Cage, the father trying to do better by his daughter and wife. He's playing Nick Cage, the troubled actor who's in need of money to pay off his debts. He plays Nick Cage, the intense 90s actor who says a lot of weird stuff, but he says it so intensely you just love it. And he plays Nick Cage, the I don't know, whatever it is he plays when he tries to impersonate an Italian mobster when he tries to save his daughter. Just, yeah, he's Nick freaking Cage, baby. All right, for my next honorable mention, Barbarian. So this film earns a spot on my list just for having some of the most unpredictable plotting ever. Like, just when the film, after poor Bill Skarsgård gets killed in the cave, just seeing and the film cutting to Justin Long driving along singing to music on the car was like, what? Just great there. And yeah, I mean, just, yeah, great there. Plus the camera work feels ethereal. Plus the film's flashback to a more idyllic times in Detroit history, and seeing the killer lying in the basement of the house, and how he systematically hunts down women to torture and rape. I mean, just great stuff there. Well, not the rape, of course, but how the film portrays the killer and just shows that he's a complete, uh, you know, waste of a human being in terms of moral values. Just great stuff. Okay, next honorable mention, Top Gun Maverick. So, yeah, this film has everything. It's got amazing flight sequences. It's got great performances all around, with Tom Cruise stealing the show as Maverick himself. Although I will say it is a bit, perhaps a bit narcissistic to give this sequel the subtitle Maverick, because that would imply Maverick wasn't the main character of the original Top Gun. But hey, I've sat through lazier titled movies, i.e., Halloween 2018 and Halloween 1978. Anyone? Plus, overall, rounding out the film's performances and action sequences is the fact that the story is surprisingly more heartfelt, especially with the relations between Maverick and Goose's son Rooster, and just how the conflict is much deeper than "yo, you got my dad killed." It's more than that. It's like, "Yo, you completely torpedoed my career." Again, just great stuff, and cements it as an honorable mention on my list. Okay, and for my final honorable mention, Avatar: The Way of Water. So I would have given this a spot on my top 10 list were it not for the fact that the film kind of works a bit too hard to set up sequels. Like, again, with Kiri's character and her parentage, and the fact that she can't plug into the AWAN network, if you will, on Pandora without going into a life threatening seizure. The film never goes anywhere with it. It never has. I thought there would be like at the climax where it's like, oh, you have to make a choice, sacrifice yourself, plug into AWAN to I don't know, save a character or do something important to the plot type situation. But no, it just, after she gets a medical checkup from the human characters, the whole parental lineage thing is just kind of forgotten. But again, that's relatively a small issue. Everything else about the film is great. The underwater set pieces are just so amazing and are just complete top notch, and just shows that James Cameron will find a way to shoot water in a beautiful sense. Whether it's he's shooting it in The Abyss or he's shooting it in Titanic, he will manage to find a way to make a movie with water in it. Plus, also, the film improves upon its predecessor with greater writing. The characters are much deeper, like the Colonel Miles Quaritch alone. Like, again, in the original, he wasn't a bad character, but he was kind of thin, and he had kind of two things. One, I will do good by soldiers and try and protect them, and his other characterization, I hate the Na'vi. With the sequel, the relation he has with his son, Spider, is just really good stuff. It showed, like, the very climax alone, where he's given a choice: either save his son or have revenge. It's really good character development. Granted, of course, it's character development that comes from the fact that he tried to get revenge on for himself. But hey, again, just great stuff. So, plus also the fact that this film feels like it could have come out only a few years after the original rather than 13. That's pretty impressive, considering, other films like, oh, say, Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You feel the gap in between movies. So with all that in mind, yeah, Avatar: The Way of Water earns an honorable mention thanks to its great cinematography and deep characterizations. And so, with all that in mind, my number one pick for the best movie of 2022 is, drumroll please, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I know, shocker. Who could have seen it coming? Yeah, so what can I say about this film that hasn't been said already? This film uses every cinema tool in the book to create a beautiful film about strained family relationships while also managing to make funny jokes involving butt plugs. It's, yeah, I mean, film brings so much creativity to the multiverse genre, which is amazing as well. Just everything from the aspect ratio to the lighting to the setting. I mean, I think overall this film earns its spot number one seed on my list, just thanks to the fact that it managed to compel me with a scene where two rocks talk to each other. And they don't even talk to each other, they just use subtitles on the screen. That's how great this movie is, folks. So, with all that in mind, thank you for watching my top 10 list. I'd love to know what you think about my list. Do you agree with the films I put on my list? Do you think there were films that should have been on here, that should not have been on here? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, folks.